Hi, my name is Yuliia. Or not only Yuliia, also Michelle, and I won an Oscar yesterday. Impressive, isn't it? Tomorrow I'm presenting my new hit on Eurovision because I'm a rock star. You might wonder how I ended up here. Well, it all started when I was 12 years old and our world was pledged to the phenomenon known as COVID. As a child who craved social interactions, getting closed in four walls just forced me to find social satisfaction somewhere else. TV shows, books, music were my muse, and scenarios from there were always running through my head. Then I realized it's much more interesting than my own life. Then my family started mentioning that something is wrong with me. I'm upset from each family event, and I do not have contact with anyone. So when we returned back to school, 8th grade was a torture for me, as well as solving tasks. From being a good student, I slipped to being a low performer. So this picture perfectly demonstrates me a couple of years ago. So this thing is called maladaptive daydreaming. It's an excessive daydreaming that interferes with your daily life. People with MD often create detailed, complex fantasy worlds and spend hours lost in them, sometimes using repetitive movements or music as triggers. I can compare this daydreaming to a lifelong favorite TV show with a unique plot when characters feel like the closest family and things are happening the right way, the way you want them to happen. So when you get used to living this colorful way, return to reality is harsh. You might say, oh, I daydream too, so probably I have it. But don't rush to call it maladaptive. What is odd is the depth and consistency of it. People with MD escaping from reality to a fantasy world and can spend up to 10 hours every day. Regular daydreaming, on the other hand, is brief, harmless, and still grounded in your real identity. There are plenty of reasons why we are doing that, mostly because of our traumas or even other mental disorders, but today I would like to talk about a particular one: adolescence. Younger people whose brains have not fully developed yet, who have no idea how their nervous system works, have a tendency to MD. A research involving 251 adolescents revealed 12.7% exhibited excessive daydreaming. Another research focusing on people aged 13-18 years old revealed a connection between childhood maltreatment and MD. Adolescence in general brings us a lot of stress. I'm a teenager, so I know what we are going through, and music, brain-rotting videos, actions, comics, and fastest access for us. What's the point of real-life effort when you can easily achieve everything in your imagination? The problem is there's very little research on MD, but still I would like you to show some. Israel, Italy, Egypt. As you can see, it covers almost the whole planet, and even though these numbers are minorities, including plenty of internet communities, almost 200,000 people have it. So what MD can bring to you? MD requires a lot of time. So people tend to skip some significant moments from their lives to play strangers' roles, neglecting school, work, or anything that they consider as real. For example, a research revealed that MD negatively influences grade point average, GPA, something that is straightly tied to your future. Another study showed us that 66.7% of people who have MD also met the criteria for a depressive disorder, such as loss of interest, pleasure, excessive guilt, or feeling of worthlessness. So someone still could probably say, why cannot some people just stop imagining and take life seriously? But the answer is that we cannot. We cannot just force ourselves to stop it. We cannot just forget about it or remove it with words. You are started to be dependent on triggers And every time when the possibility to imagine is restricted, you will suffer, constantly looking for the new triggers, using even random music in your local shop. But at the same time, it is my savior. I know how strange it can sound, but if you have an MD, I just want to congratulate you. You're a super creative person. With one significant thing, you should learn to control that. The key is conscious control. By putting it into something valuable, you empower yourself. There are plenty of opportunities where you can use your imagination. Find a creative work, take on a creative project, write songs or poetry you have always wanted to, cosplay, dance, and every time you need to generate some ideas or do something extraordinary for tech people, just dive into daydreaming. Secondly, slowly fill your life with new people and emotions. Be that busy so you won't have time for the swarm, as you will remain with the thought that your life is already dynamic and there is no need to color that. So what do you need to do? The first step in order to minimize time you spend daydreaming is timers. Set a timer every time you feel like you want to daydream. Think about the time you usually spend on it and set a timer. For example, it could be 2 hours. Then set a timer for 2 hours, time while you're usually doing that. Sounds easy, isn't it? But there is one concrete rule you should obey. As soon as the bell rings, you're not allowed to spend time in your head till the end of the day. It would help you not only to understand the flow of time and be more conscious of it, it would be also the first step in gaining control. So, when we get used to these timers and following them, try to minimize time by 10% and then ramp up to 15 or even more. I know it couldn't work for the first time, but just try to return your trust to yourself again. In the beginning, it could be 1.5 hours, then just 1 hour. Live your life, not the fake one, but leave space for creativity that maladaptive daydreaming brings you. So, you remember when I showed you myself a couple of years ago? It's me now. So, turn your fantasies into goals and goals into action, as will be your motivation to pursue dreams. The reason why I'm telling you this is not only to tell you about an MD, but also to remind you that you're always able to turn challenges into advantages. Remember, it's not a weakness, it's your strength. It's only your choice what to do. Go for the job, draw, move, and your dreams could be true. Trust me, it's much better to be a superhero in your real life than in your fantasies. Thank you.